Dr. de Planque is attending an international conference. She probably actually is running it, and she cannot be here tonight. But Judy Liebering, who was the first original project manager for the Hall of Fame at WITI, will read her acceptance and also receive the award for her. Julie?
This is fun. I'm not usually on this side of the podium, so this is exciting for me. So I'm going to pretend that I'm Gail tonight. Thank you so very much for this award. I was truly surprised and am most pleased and honored. My only regret is that I cannot be with you in person today. Believe it or not, this is the second time in my career that I haven't been the first or only woman to do something. It happened for the first time just about 8 years ago when I was asked to join the board of directors of Northeast Utilities, and there were already 2 women on the board. It was fantastic. They had already broken in the guys and arranged to have a ladies' room constructed alongside the men's room just outside the boardroom. I could hardly believe it. What a wonderful treat to not have to pave the way. I am at that board meeting today, and that is why I cannot be with you. But you can imagine what a joy it is for me to join the other women in the WITI Hall of Fame. I am truly honored to be in the company of the many distinguished and accomplished women who have come before me. Since I have no single workplace and therefore couldn't make a representative video, I thought I'd just share a few vignettes that only my sisters in crime would truly appreciate. So far, my career has been an incredible international journey. There have been moments of loneliness, like being the only woman in my group when I was hired to do research in radiation physics for the Atomic Energy Commission, the only woman in my grad school physics and engineering classes, the first female director of my laboratory, the first female president of my 98% male professional society, the American Nuclear Society, the first woman commissioner of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, and now the only female member of 4 of the 5 corporate boards on which I serve. She needs to get to a WITI conference really fast. There have been moments of mirth, like the time a male colleague offered to guard the men's room door. There was no ladies' room when we were working the night shift doing research at the Brookhaven Accelerator, only to discover afterward that there were 2 doors, or finding only men's underwear awaiting me in the women's change room in a nuclear power plant in Europe. Let me tell you, ladies, those jockey shorts are comfortable. Guys are onto something. But after all, that was progress. When I started in the nuclear business, there usually weren't any women's change rooms at all. There have been moments of insight, like being prepared to deal with complex technical issues when appearing before a hostile press in French Polynesia regarding a study of the effects of French nuclear weapons tests, only to discover that my best ammunition was to simply explain that I swam in the lagoon at the test site. It was gorgeous, and I was still there and not glowing. Score 1 for women's intuition. There have been moments of surprise, like being presented with a tie clip in Japan, where no one expected a woman would be heading the delegation. There have been moments of challenge, both technical and diplomatic, like sending out crews to locate debris from fallen Russian space reactors, setting up radiation monitoring stations in the frigid Antarctic, or trying to prove that there was no plutonium in New York City water supply despite a terrorist threat, and that was over 20 years ago. Like the several years it took to get Taipei and Beijing representatives, all male of course, to agree on mutually acceptable names for the Chinese and Taiwan nuclear societies so they could join the Pacific Nuclear Council. The dispute came down to 2 commas. I locked 12 Chinese in a room, 6 from each side, said I'd be back in 30 minutes, and they'd better have an answer. They asked if they could smoke. I reluctantly agreed. I came back in 30 minutes. The room was filled with smoke, but they had an answer. 1 comma would do the trick. They couldn't disappoint the lady. There have been moments of sadness, like walking through Chernobyl right after the accident. I was the first non-Soviet woman to be there, but even more compelling was walking through the ghost town of Pripyat, I hope I said that right, that housed the workers and their families. One could almost hear the voices of children at play. There have been moments of awe, like being in Moscow to sign the agreement for cooperation between the American Nuclear Society and the newly formed Soviet Nuclear Society, and standing in the Kremlin after years of living through the Cold War. There have been moments of triumph, like being the first woman presented with the Henry D. Wolf Smythe Nuclear Statesman Award, a premier award in the nuclear community. And finally, there have been poignant moments, like being with Czech and Hungarian nuclear colleagues the day the Berlin Wall came down and seeing their reaction, or in the same era receiving the traditional Christmas card from the head of the Radiation Protection Lab in Bucharest, but this time saying, "We are finally free." These little vignettes were all just moments in the continuum of time. I have only the utmost of respect for those who came before me, both male and female. Marie Curie, one of the very few role models in the nuclear field, said, "I was taught that the way of progress is neither swift nor easy." I think that she would be disappointed to know that there are still barriers and obstacles for women, especially in the fields of science, technology, and engineering. But as one of those who has gone down that path, I must say that in spite of the obstacles, it has been a rewarding and exciting journey. My generation has pushed that glass ceiling a little higher, but the prize is still up there. The day when one woman's success is not unique and her failures do not represent all women. We will have succeeded when, as men, we can each stand on our own merit and no goal is beyond our reach. It is organizations like WITI that can help us all get there. I am most pleased and eager to join you in that endeavor, and once again, let me express my most sincere appreciation for the honor you have given me today. Thank you very much, and all the best for a successful conference.